Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is EonShiKeno, and today I'm going to do another co-cast analysis game with Shivan. He's a Terran player. What's up, Shivan?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. So we got a TVZ on Lost Temple. Now, what's your strategy going into this game?
Initially I started out planning to do some type of drop on his ledge since it's always a good strategy on Lost Temple. I've been preferring to do tank drops recently over the Thor just to mix it up a little bit, so yeah, that was pretty much my initial thought going into this game.
So you have a straight-up tank build that gets the tanks pretty quick with medevacs, and then you go for a drop on their ledge.
Yep.
Are there any kind of early builds you look for as a Zerg player that may be able to beat you, like maybe a Baneling bust or something like that you have to watch out for?
Well, Baneling Bus is always could be an issue, but he fast expanded, so I wasn't really too worried about early aggression.
All right.
And I thought the tank drop would get out quick enough that he wouldn't really have time to do much to me.
Gotcha. Now, what's this build you go for? Is it just a straight up 1-1-1 build, or is there any type of little fancy stuff to it?
Well, only difference is I delay getting the starport to get the siege and siege tank first.
Okay.
Use the 100 gas for the port after that.
Okay, so you like to get that siege tech up going as soon as possible?
Yeah.
Why do you prefer that instead of delaying the starport?
Well, you don't need the starport right away because the siege tech takes a long time to get, so getting the port early isn't as beneficial.
All right.
Because you don't medevac right away.
So he goes for a gas steal here pretty soon. Do you usually get a second gas fairly quickly with this strat, I assume?
Yeah, I build it right after I get my factory normally, so this does slow me down a little bit, but he ends up letting it finish, so it wasn't too big of an issue.
Yeah, usually they cancel it right when it finishes and rebuild it again to just make it last a little bit longer. But okay, so he's doing a little bit of a gas steal there that slows down your gas a little bit. And let's check what he's going for. Spawning pool, getting metabolic boost, taking guys off gas, putting them back on minerals to get that expansion. Probably get some more queens rolling. So what do you think of these spawning positions for the strat you're doing?
It's obviously not ideal. I'd really like him to be 6 o'clock, but it's not too big of an issue, I don't think.
6 o'clock just because you can fly directly to his high ground, and there's nothing in between you that could actually attack you or something like that. Or even harder to scout.
Yeah.
So much closer. Are there other maps that you like to do the strat on?
No. Lost Temple's kind of the only option with the cliff at the natural.
I've seen a lot of people do it on Delta Quadrant.
Really?
Yeah, you can reach like 3 or 4 mineral patches on Delta Quadrant if you put a tank on the ledge. Of course the inside natural is that's guaranteed, but the outside natural you can still reach that with tanks. So
yeah, that's true. I'd have to work that in.
I think that was actually a GSL game I saw. I'm pretty sure it was a GSL match where it was a TVZ and the guy went for a early tank drop on that ledge, and he used like Hellions and Marauders to they were on the low ground attacking like the drones, and they were just falling back to the tank to stay safe. So do you like to get this Hellion out first to do some scouting, or what's the point of this Hellion?
Yeah, just poke into his base, see if I can do maybe some damage to his early eco at the expansion. But it's more just to give me early map control.
Okay, to take control of the Zelnaga Tower so he may not scout this coming as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And how many tanks do you like to get for this drop?
Just one.
Just one tank, and this extra one you're making, you're just going to leave that at your base for defense?
Yep.
So do you just constantly make Marines, or how often do you determine when you want to make Marines? Whenever you can afford them?
Yeah, early game I'll normally just pump Marines kind of consistently. And then later on I'll transition into more bio, throw down more barracks.
Or you also it seems like you're also using this Hellion to scout for maybe a hidden third?
Yeah, just anything I can do with it. Keep it moving around, see what's up, see if he's going for anything sneaky. I know this guy likes to sneak expansions around.
Okay, so I guess you played with him before?
Yeah.
So at the time of this game, what was your rating and what was his?
I believe I was 2,500 and he was like 2,560.
Okay, so both fairly high. You get your expansion started up pretty soon. As soon as you get enough minerals built up, And what's the thought on the timing for this expansion? Just like when, like I know when you're going to build it, but when do you think you're safe to put it down and maybe push out?
Well, that's the beauty about this strategy on this map. Like, it really gives you freedom to take your expansion. Like, I know that he's not going to be able to do any pressure because he's going to be spending all his concentration trying to deal with the drop.
So you're throwing down your tanks now. What is the positioning you like to do with these tanks? Do you like a tank, 3 Marines? I guess the 3 Marines are to kill overlords and maybe stop Marines or something like that?
Well, the Marines just see if I can snipe an overlord that's up on the cliff for vision. And I brought an SCV along to build turrets for mutas later as well.
Okay. So what is, like you've probably done this strat quite a bit on this map, what is the one strat that like maybe a Zerg player can do that will completely shut this down?
Quick Muta can do it pretty well, but also, like, what he does this game, just repositioning the spine crawlers over and over. You'll see that I have to move my tank a lot, so it really like wastes a lot of time.
Okay, I see. So he keeps moving the spine crawlers back and forth, so whenever he moves them back, you have to move your tank farther forward, and there's just like a lot of downtime in between you being able to shoot. I mean, you can, of course, leave it in the back here, and that's just going to deny, like, 1 geyser and maybe 2 mineral patches.
Yeah.
But that really isn't, like, a huge economy hit for him. And it actually looks like that you did scout out that hidden expansion with your Viking.
Yeah.
Is the one Viking... Is the one Viking for just pushing overlords away from vision on that high ground?
Yeah, I initially got it just to harass his overlords, put some more pressure on him. Because I knew he was taking care of the natural right now, so any more pressure I could add is always good.
Now, do you use this high ground trick? Do you use it as like a game-winning move, or just as a one step in a multi-plan strategy?
No, I always use it just to put pressure on, keep them on their feet. I don't ever expect to like in the game or I don't know.
You just do this one limited investment in it, and
yeah.
You're not going to go there and drop more units on it. Like as soon as it fails, you're not going to go back there and put more units on it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just going to switch now to like more of a ground-based army and more of like a frontal attack.
Yeah, now I pretty much start playing standard. I'll start dropping around and making attacks across the map.
So what type of army composition are you looking for on TVZ in general?
Me personally, I like getting a more biomech composition with a lot of Thors, a couple tanks thrown in for the splash damage, and then Marines and Marauders just to round out the damage.
Cool, and you like to get reactors on your barracks just to get a bunch of Marines out for your AA?
Yeah, just so I can use the gas on mainly mech units.
So your opponent, you're aware that your opponent has that third base up, and what kind of like timing do you like to go for? After you like to go for like a 2-base play, or more of like a macro longer game play?
This game I stay on 2-base for quite a while. It really depends on how the game's flowing on when I'll take my third. If I can get early pressure or like set up a good position outside their base, I'll normally take my third earlier. But as you'll see in this game, my initial attack kind of gets thwarted, so I'm forced to wait before I can expand again. Okay,
so you're still using that one Hellion to harass with the scout with, and is this just to harass drones, or just like to excuse me, get an idea for like how many drones he's actually harvesting on there?
Yeah, I was just gonna send it up there, see if I could do any damage to the expansion, since I knew it'd be up by now.
For whenever you see your opponent go a lot of muta on this map, do you ever consider going for a island expo?
Not this early in the game.
Maybe like a 4th or 5th base, you might consider it?
Yeah, I'd definitely do it as like a 4th, probably. Because by then, you'll have map position on at least the Zelnaga Tower. You'll have your gold. And so taking the back expansion at the island's not that difficult to hold.
So is there like a food count that you like to push out with? Because I'm assuming since you're going like mostly a lot of mech built in here, you kind of like to go with like a higher food count, higher supply attack?
Yeah. Normally I'll move out around 120, 130 supply. You can see I got a drop going out to the top expansion now. This is actually to draw his forces up there so I could move my army across the map safely.
Okay, I see. So you're just kind of like using these Marines and supply medevac to maybe kill some drones, but also it pulls his army away so you can get your mech in position to get like a foothold on his base, which I think is actually pretty important because mech, is so slow. And you can either slow push across the map, like unsiege siege, and that can take forever. Do you just like to maybe sacrifice a couple units to get like really great positioning?
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's kind of caught out of place, and he has to make those banelings now. And you got your tanks in place, you got your Thors out, and you're just kind of just going in there doing as much damage as possible.
Well, I initially just wanted to get up to the tower and set up there, because I'd be between his two bases and I could just like hit back and forth. But when I saw that his units actually weren't back to the main, I just decided to run into the natural. I could probably do some damage, since I figured he hadn't transitioned out of just making mutas so much yet. He's be low on ground units.
Yeah, he did get quite a few roaches into that fight.
Yeah, he built them pretty much at the last second. But
so the economies are pretty tight right now. 58, you're actually ahead by 2 as compared to him. When do you like to start getting upgrades? I noticed you got upgrades a little bit later.
Yeah, I wasn't too diligent about getting upgrades this game, actually. That's something I probably should work on more.
Oh, so
but just whenever you spend the extra money on it. You can see right now, like, I don't have the gas to really spend on upgrades.
Okay, gotcha. I noticed you leave this one Thor at your main. Is that just because of the muta?